All right, welcome to week 2, day 1 of the 5th grade Bengals math. Let's go over last week's exit ticket, last Thursday or day 3's exit ticket, which was 626 times 37. So we're going to split up that 37 to be 30 and 7. Because most students prefer that strategy. Some may not, but most do. Okay? Then we're going to bring the 0 down. That was something some people forgot last week. 3 times 6 equals 18. Carry the 1 from the 18. Leave the 8. 3 times 2 equals 6 plus the 1 equals 7. 3 times 6 equals 18. Now, I do have all of those facts that I was just talking about right over here. All right, 3 times 6 equals 18. 3 times 2 equals a 6. And 3 times 6 equals 18 again. So that is the 626 times 30. Now let's do 626 times 7. Here's my 7 times tables. For a starter, 7 times 6 equals 42. Carry the 4 from 42, leave the 2. 7 times 2 equals 14, plus 4 equals 18. Leave the 8, carry the 1. 7 times 6 equals 42, plus the 1 equals 43. Now, if you're not a big fan of this strategy and you prefer the old strategy, all right, it's doing the same thing, except you're starting with this one. You're doing 626 times 7. So you're still going to get the same digits. You're going to put it right underneath the original problem. Then you're doing the 30. Pretending this 7 is a 0. You're holding that place value like it did here. And then you're solving it out just like you did down here to get that as your answer for both expressions. Well, step 2 is adding them together. 18,780 plus 4,382. You get 2 in the ones place, 16 in the tens, carry the 1 from the 16, 11 in the hundreds, carry the 1 from the 11, 13 in the thousands, carry the 1 from the thousands, and 2 in the 10,000s, giving you 23,162 as your answer. So let's move on to today. All we're doing this week is division. So last week was devoted to multiplication, and this week we're devoting to division. All right? So we have number 1. First thing I really want you to be doing, writing your multiplication facts down, your 8 times tables. Okay, that's what we're dividing by here. Even if you're fluent, even if you think, for the most part, I'm pretty fluent. If you can rattle off 8 times 9, 7 times 4, and rattle it off and give out answers like 7 times 4 equals 32, 5 times 6 equals 30, 7 times 7 equals 49. If you can do that, you're fluent. And I would say, okay, don't worry about this. But if you're sitting here and doing 7 times 8, $56, that's not fluent. So you should be practicing by writing down your facts. There's 3 reasons why I want you to do this. Probably even more than that, but 3 specifically because it's all connected to the 3 learning styles. By writing them down, you're kinesthetically learning, you're visually seeing the answers, and if you say it out loud, you're auditorily learning it as well. So you're using all 3 learning styles to become fluent. And I guarantee you, if you're writing facts down for every single problem like we're doing here, and we did last week, you will be so much more fluent by the end of these 4 weeks. So much more. Okay? So please be writing them down. So I'm going to write down my 8 times tables. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, and 72. I'm going to ask myself, how many 8s go into 3? Well, none go into 3. So I'm going to show that. I'm going to show that there's nothing going into 3. And now I'm going to slide down to 38. How many 8s go into 38? Well, it's not going to go in exactly, but we need a number that's closest without going over. And we can visually see that here, what that number would be. We can visually see that's 32. So 32 is what we're looking for, and it looks like it goes in 4 times. So 8 goes into 38 4 times. 4 times 8 equals 32. Divide, multiply, and now we subtract. We have 4 left over. And then we're going to bring down that 2 right there. How many 8s will go into 42? How many 8s will go into 42? So what's the number closest to 42 without going over? Oh, 40. So that means 8 goes into 42 5 times. And when we do 5 times 8, we get the 40. And we subtract, and we bring down the 4. Now, how many 8s are going to go into 24? Oh, there it is right there. Exactly 3 of them. 3 times 8 equals 24. You subtract, and you get nothing left over, giving you the answer 453. So not only are we getting more fluent at multiplying by writing them down, but it's also taking a lot less brain power to have to think about this and what number is closest to 38 and 42, because it's all going to be right here visually for us to see. All right, so number 2, writing down your 5 times tables, solve your 5 times tables, and then go ahead and solve this division problem. 1,280 divided by 5. Hit the pause button now. Okay, so I've written down the products to my 5 times tables. Now I'm ready to solve, and I hope you already solved by this point in time. How many 5s have gone into not 1, but 12? Because 5 can't go into 1. I'm showing that by holding that place value. So, closest thing to 12, the closest thing to 12 without going over is 10. So, it goes in 2 times. 5 times 2 equals 10. You subtract, you get 2 left over. Now I'm going to bring down my 8 from the tens place. How many 5s are going to go into 28? Let's take a look here. Oh, 5 of them. Closest I can go to 28 without going over is 25. So 5 5s go into 28. 5 times 5 equals 25, as you can see here. Then I subtract, I get 3. I bring down that 0. How many 5s are to go into 30? Oh, exactly 6 of them. So the 6 goes into 1's place. 6 times 5 equals 30. I subtract. I have nothing left over. So giving me the answer of 256. So hopefully you're not making the mistake of putting these digits in the wrong place values, because that's the common mistake. And hopefully you're, with the fact that you have all the multiplication facts here, it's making this process a lot smoother and easier to do. Number 3. How many 4s go into 1,808? Go ahead, hit the pause button to solve that now. So I did my 4 times tables. Now I am ready to solve. How many 4s go into 1? None. How many 4s go into 18? Closest thing I can get to it is 16. So 4 goes into 18 4 times. key here is, I'm going to backtrack. Did you put a 0 here to show that 4 can't go into 1? Because you might want to do that, like we talked about earlier. But if you never, ever, ever make the mistake of putting, let's for example, the 4 here in the wrong place value, then you won't have to do that. But if you sometimes accidentally put the 4 here or here, you're going to want to show your place values by leaving a 0 there. In this case, showing that there's nothing that goes into 1. But there is something that goes into 18, which is 4 times it goes in 4 of them. 4 times 4 equaled that 16 here. I subtract, I get 2. Now I bring down my 0. I get 20. 4 goes into 20. How many times? Well, 5 times. Make sure that 5 goes above that 0, which helped you make the 20. 5 times 4 equals 20. You subtract, you have 0. Wait a second, I have 0? Am I done? No. I still got to bring down this 8. How many 4s go into 8? 2 of them. 2 times 4 equals 8. I subtract, I get 0. 452 being my solution here. Number 4. How many 7s will go into 5,082? Hit the pause button to solve now. Okay, so now we have my 7 times tables, and I even solved it. So what make it a little easier for us to visually maybe see. Some of us need to maybe see this here and not just me work through it. So let's try that out. See if that helps you. 7 goes into 50 7 times, and you get 49 here. You subtract, you get 1. Then you bring down this 8 to get 18. 7 goes into 18 2 times. 2 times 7 gave you 14. You subtract, you get 4. Bring down this 2 gives you 42. 7 goes into 42 6 times. You get 6 times 7 equals 42 with nothing left over after you subtract. So 726 being your answer. So if you're making mistakes, try to identify what that mistake is so that you slow yourself down and not make that same mistake on the exit ticket. So thank you for your participation today. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.